Bridlington from Oldham. And number 58, Jenna Gough from Pilling.
So the 2008 women's final ready to start, and Roy Armson alongside me. It is a fascinating exchange of players, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Of course, people are prone to say that this is an old person's game. We prefer to say it's a young person's game that old people can play. And here's two young people playing now, obviously starting off a final. I'm sure it's all a case of who conquers the nerves, because they're playing for quite a lot of prize money, £1,000 to the winner and £400 to the runner-up. So it's a big game for both girls.
Jenna in blue, 28 years old, and her opponent, as I say, on her 35th birthday, and normally used to watching her husband on such occasions. As well as players who may not be used to being in finals, or certainly in the case of Cathy, it's a green that no one is really used to either, and it's certainly been causing a great deal of plaudits from those who played upon it, Roy.
Yes, I think everybody's been massively surprised at the quality of these greens at Dukes Park, Bridlington, and of course when you think that in this part of the world it's 85% flat green country, a lot of the players have said that they wish they could roll these greens up and take them back to the northwest of England.
Looks as though Cathy has acknowledged that her opponent has the first score, and she leads 1-0.
Yeah, and I think Jenna will change the game here. She'll shorten the game. She's played the jack down the side of the green. And of course this green has quite a high crown. I would imagine it's probably around about a 16-inch crown, which is quite high for a crown green. And I think Cathy tends to want to play a little bit further. And of course there is a tremendous difference in the size of the bowls that these girls are playing with, because Jenna is playing with £2 6 ounces, which is about the average weight that most ladies play with, but Cathy has opted to play with £2 10 ounces, which is more of the most popular bowl that the fellas play with. So there is a difference in the bowls.
And Cathy's response was an excellent one there, wasn't it? Looks as though she may have just edged closer than Jenna's lead. I'm sure the nerves will start to settle down maybe in 3 or 4 ends time, but at first I'm sure there will be nerves around.
I actually watched them practice, Alistair, for about half an hour before this game, for the girls to get used to the bowls, because of course they are not playing with their own bowls. And in practice Jenna was absolutely red hot. She was putting these bowls all around the jack, but of course that's okay in practice, but now she's got to do it in match situation.
Looks like Jenna's got the second point on the board as well. Jenna ahead by 2.
And opting for the same length again, coming down the edge of the green, playing about 27 yards, making sure that she keeps Cathy down to a length which she's not very comfortable with. It's all about leading, of course, to put the pressure on your opponent, and she's playing what we call straight peg here. That's biased towards the crown, so that the crown will actually take effect. It'll take the ball a little bit down. Not a good lead. Cathy's just gone past as well.
It will often be the case that once a player feels comfortable on a certain part and certainly a certain distance, that they might just keep going there and there again, almost repetitively, Roy.
Oh yes, that's the golden rule in the game. If you're actually chalking on a mark, you don't come off it. And I think in the game, in this particular game as well, the other thing is that it's very much in the mind. These girls will not be used to playing with bowls other than their own, and they may have a little bit of a tendency not to trust the bowls. So it's the one that comes to terms with that quickly. They will have the big advantage.
Cathy's just trying to find out whether she is 1 or 2 down at the moment before sending off her final bowl. And look, indeed, she wants to come and have a good study and be confident in her own mind exactly what situation she's about to be up against. Yeah, that's no disrespect to our official, of course.
She's asked the referee's opinion, and he's not absolutely sure, but Cathy is quite used to playing, of course, with the fellas, like her husband Graham, and what she will do, if she's only 1 down, she'll strike at that bowl, because that bowl's only about 15 inches off. Let's see what she does now. No, she's playing.
No, she opted against it, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's got a chance. She certainly reduced the count. And indeed, out come the measures. In a final, you don't want to give up a bowl unless you're absolutely certain, do you?
No, it's you look at both sides, and if you're not sure, there's these days measures don't cost anything, so you might as well bring them on. The bookmakers, of course, in this particular game had Jenna very, very strong favourite. She was 7-2 on. That's possibly a measure of the weight of money that's gone on her, and possibly also the way that they've been watching her play. Cathy, you could get 2-1 for Cathy, but she's in again. Now she's changed the whole game. Going across the green.
It's a big psychological blow. I mean, I know it's early, but she's got the jack back in her hand and she can change it to something that suits her now.
Yeah, she's playing round peg. That's what we call the bias towards the ditch. That's the bias of the bowl and the slope of the green taking effect and bringing it all the way down. This is a mark she's played early on in the competition. What a great lead.
Yeah, superb. To Jenna. Cathy getting her first point on the board, and I'm sure feeling a lot better for it. And then with a lead to follow, she'll be feeling a lot more happy about herself and about being in a major final. And then she's probably doubled up there too.
Referee has to make a decision again. She's firing.
No, it's off. And when you go for broke, it's all or nothing, and this was nothing. And that was the reason that she wanted to try and fire away that lead bowl. She didn't think she could get closer than that. And the scores are level, 2-2.
And Cathy's not playing as far today as she has in previous games in the competitions. Previously she's gone about 35 yards, but here it's only about 28 yards. But once again, very good lead. Only about 14 inches off. And that's perhaps a little bit deceiving for Jenna, so she may not be used to playing against a lady who plays with bowls of £2.10 size. She's liable to play short behind Cathy's leads because Cathy's bowls, being that 4 ounce bigger, will run that little bit further.
As that one has done that. It is worth stressing that this is very much Cathy's realistically biggest ever day, really, as an individual bowler in her own right. It looks as though Jenna has responded brilliantly there. And she is back in front and has the jack back in her hand as well. 3-2.
Both players so far keeping away from the crown, which is interesting. Going over the crown is very, very difficult because if you miss the line by about an inch, you can finish up being 2 yards away at the other end. So they're keeping it simple. Again, Jenna going down the side of the green, about 27 yards, biased towards the crown, and she's just got a little bit low there.
Cathy has long been a player of crown green bowls and has certainly been a follower of it. But she's more known as the follower of her husband's achievements than achievements in her own right. But she'll have learnt plenty by having the master himself, Graham, alongside her, and in mixed events as well on a regular basis. Doesn't look as though either player has started nervously, and this exchange has continued as back comes Cathy to level at 3-3. From a neutral perspective, it's always nice when no one makes a burst for it too early and both players seemingly have settled to the task.
Yes, I think they're just fishing around at the moment. I guess they've never played one another before, and Cathy's changed it quite considerably now, going over the crown, which I said before was quite difficult here. It's very important to follow the line of the jack, playing about 32 yards here, so it's critical that she gets a good lead, going up the crown now and coming down the other side. I think she's not too bad here.
Jenna seems to have read it pretty well too. Again asking for official recognition as to who has it, and it is Cathy.
She'll have to be a bit careful here because if she moves that blue bowl, she'll put it in.
I think she was mindful of that, wasn't she? Yeah. Made sure there was no promoting going on. Here comes Jenna Gough. Is there a way through? No. Unlucky. Unlucky. It looked as though it was bang on line, but her luck was out. Luck also has to play its part in any final.
Yeah, there was a red soldier on guard.
So another single, 4-3. And it really is nip and tuck.
Yes, again, Cathy keeping to this length, around about 32 yards, coming off the crown here, coming down the slope, which will aid the bowl towards the jack. Just a little bit short here. Not too bad.
I think she'll be relatively pleased with that, in all honesty. Almost seems as though she's being a bit experimental at the moment, almost as if she's trying to suss her opponent out a little here.
I think that's exactly right, Alistair. Yeah, I think she's aware of the fact that I think Jenna prefers a little bit shorter mark for guaranteed accuracy, and she's just going that little bit further off the crown. And when she gets in here, she'll probably go back up the crown, which means, of course, it's heavier going that way. What a wonderful second bowl.
Yeah, another beauty. Not going to get that.
Nope.
But this sequence of just one and end, so to speak, continues. But at last, a little bit of daylight for Cathy, who leads 5-3.
Yeah, there she goes up the crown now, going a little bit further, at about 35 yards up here. It's all uphill, and then with a downhill finish. And just chatting with Cathy and Graham before this final, she seemed quite relaxed. Daughter Amelia was running around as usual, but yeah, I think she's taken to her task pretty well. She's caught Jenna out here going up the crown.
I guess you can equate this to golfers putting on a green. It's you've got to sort of look at the ups and the downs and the movement and judge your pace of your bowl accordingly.
Yeah, they always say in crown green bowls, it's not just your opponent you're playing, you're actually playing the green as well, and knowledge of the green is important, and the players here have been having to gather that over the last 3 days, never having been here before. But Cathy's let Jenna in here.
Yeah, Jenna in for again, just a single point. And it is 5-4 to Cathy Wilson. We've had 9 ends, and it is 5-4. It is a tight game, we can say that.
Jenna coming straight across the centre of the green. This part of the green is noted for a fast finish. You're coming off the crown there, so this looks to be quite a good lead.
Yeah, Jenna Gough, a terrific lead. And Pilling, which, from my knowledge of that part of the area, is sort of Blackpool-y, Lancaster kind of way. And her opponent from Oldham. And both players have led well.
Yes, a good reply there from Cathy, and actually it's in a good position, because if she touches that front blue bowl, the jack is likely to spring to that red one. Another great ball from Jenna. Line 2. There she goes.
Going with weight, trying to knock everything away. But she's off target. This was the lead bowl that set herself up nicely for 2. To be fair, Cathy's response was good, but Jenna then followed up with another one, and she's 6-5 ahead.
Going back from whence she came, straight across the green, right over the centre. Not a lot of movement here. Very little bend in the bowls, very little bias. Playing finger peg, so it'll only bend about a foot. But once again, not quite as good a lead as before, probably a yard off.
It's a good response from Cathy. going with weight here. And she's missed. And there's a real wide opening for 2 here.
Yes, I don't think that was a very good bowl because, as you rightly say, Alistair, she's given Cathy a real good chance of getting 2.
Which she has taken.
Yeah.
It's always unusual to see a player going with weight when it isn't the final bowl, isn't it?
Well, yeah, when your first bowl's 5 feet off like that, it is very unusual. A lot of the younger players seem to do that. They seem to be quite aggressive, and they seem to be hoping or thinking that their opponent won't take the chance of getting 2. And in fact, Cathy hasn't taken that chance. She's only 1.
An optical illusion. From where I was looking, it seemed 2. Just the 1, and we're all tied at 6.
So it's a battle of tactics now, and Cathy's coming once again down off the crown, playing that little bit further. But I feel sure that eventually one of them will totally change and go either very short or very long. But Cathy's playing about 32 yards here, coming down off the crown, but it's all run now. But it's going to be a bit short, I think.
It's probably worth making the point, Roy, that up till this point, the matches have been 6 across to begin with. So we're kind of had the warm-up, if you like, to what's been going on thus far. In other words, just 15 points to play for, so to speak, for the winner.
Yeah, that's a good point, because of the numbers and the days that we've had available, all the games have been 6 on the card, 15 up, and all the players have been aware that it's been a sprint, not a marathon. And suddenly, these competitors now are faced with a full 21-up game, which I'm sure they'll be delighted about, because it enables them to get into the game, but it's a different scenario for them.
Yeah, that was husband Graham we just saw there, watching closely on. As Cathy is a little too weighty. Jenna has a good opportunity here. There is Graham, one of the finest players in the game. Would you agree, Roy?
Oh yes, he's certainly one of the top 2, and at a very young age, of course. He's only in his mid-30s, and he has this great supporter in Cathy, who actually manages his diary events and looks after that part of it for him, which is of tremendous assistance to a player. If you have your wife supporting you like that, you're able to play with freedom, and you're able to go to events without any problems at all. She's a massive support to Graham, and I'm sure it works vice versa.
It's another good lead from Jenna, leading 8-6 after 12 very, very good ends, which neither player really have been able to get away from the other.
Yeah, they're playing round peg here. That's the bias towards the ditch, the bias off the crown. So it's the crown of the green and the bias of the ball both taking effect. The aiming point will be something like 2.5 yards to the left of the jack.
Cathy has it. That was the signal. Jenna's going with weight again. It didn't work last time. It does this time.
Jack's gone off, yeah. Bit fortunate there. If the jack had have stopped on, it would have given Cathy a golden opportunity of a second, but she took a chance and it's worked for her. Now they start from a completely new point. You start from 1 metre from where the jack went off the green, which means from this point it's totally different.
Yes, if it had stayed on, we would have played on, would we not?
That's right.
So it's 8 points to 6 in favour of Jenna Gough against Cathy Wilson in a game which neither player have really truly taken hold of, and I don't think either have looked as though they know which is their favourite length today.
Jenna's playing round peg here, finger peg, that's biased towards the ditch, coming up the crown and then now coming down. This is the fastest part of the green here. Just going to be about 2 feet short, not too bad.
Jenna Gough, 28, from Pilling in Lancashire, just not far from Blackpool or indeed Lancaster on the other side of the west coast of England. And Cathy Wilson from Oldham, somewhat of a local derby we'd call it, right on the opposite side of the country from where they reside.
Oh, great ball.
And Jenna Gough has produced probably the bowl of the day so far.
Cathy's got to be careful here, because if she strikes, she could take her own out.
Well, there's never been daylight between these two, really, but this end could be the first time when a player begins to breathe a little easier. No one's had a 3-point lead, and well, this is an important bowl. Just the one, and Jenna Gough leads 9-6. This was the winning bowl, absolutely perfect judgment.
And Jenna's sticking to her tactical plan, still keeping it short. Only playing about 27 yards, finger peg, round peg, bias towards the ditch, coming off the crown now, all finishing here.
She definitely prefers those shorter lengths, doesn't she? Her leads on those kind of lengths have been invariably spot on.
And that's what puts their opponent under pressure. Leading like that, you've always got to sort of be up to the jack, and if you're not careful, you can go past. But what a good effort. Just being a bit short, but she's only about 6 inches off. Once again, Jenna's got to be careful, because she can put that bone in.
Sizing up her options.
She's wondering whether to come the other way, whether to come the straight peg. Yes, she has done. She's turned it over, she's come thumb peg, but I don't think it's going to get anywhere near it. It's not in the camera.
Well, she's 9-6 down, Cathy, and half a chance here of both reducing the deficit and taking control, but she hasn't done so. I think she'll be a tad disappointed not to have got closer there, do you not think?
Yeah, she went the other peg. She changed the bias to thumb peg, but just was a little bit on top. It was the correct ball to play, but just a little bit on top. So in those situations, you know, all you're looking for is a connection. Here's Jenna. She's going again. She's going thumb peg again, up to the crown and round. Once again, it's round peg, bias towards the ditch, going up to the crown and running off the fast side. Just about 28 yards again. Sticking to it, and why not?
Well, why not? She's just beginning to open up a significant lead, 10-6. And certainly in the last 5 minutes or so, she's been in control, although it's not quite as tight as her other leads have been.
Just shows that part of the green is the fastest part. They do run off down there. I think Cathy will be aware of it. Yeah, she is. She's got a good one.
There's Graham again. Unusual, because of his tremendous successes down the years, for him to be the one nervously cheering his wife on to victory. But he is taking on that role superbly. In fact, he's been marking cards as she's progressed through the tournament, has he not?
He's been marking some cards, and I've also noticed his nails are a bit bitten down. Yeah, he doesn't usually do that, but they're a bit bitten down this week.
Well, they always reckon that players are much better out there than watching, aren't they? A chance for Cathy. Trailing by 4.
Just gone out.
10-7 now. Cathy has control once again, though.
I feel sure she'll change it now. She needs to go further.
Just on the right there, we've mentioned Graham. Well, that is Jenna's husband, Anthony. And you can see the good nature between the players. There may be a big prize at stake, but there's always good camaraderie among players, isn't there?
There has been, these 3 days in particular, I've noticed it round the greens. There's been a lot of good camaraderie, as you say, a lot of respect between all the players, and they seem to get on very well. They'll fight like cat and dog on the green, but off the green they'll have a drink and be good pals. Well, Cathy's gone a lot further. She's gone close on 35 yards here, but not a good lead. Cathy's lying in here. She's only about 2 feet 6 off. Jenna's after it.
It's one for Jenna. And just when you thought Cathy might be turning the tide her way, she lets Jenna back in again.
Yeah, Jenna's coming back from when she came, a little bit further, playing finger peg, bias towards the ditch, round peg, coming off the crown now. I think she's got a good lead here again.
Just make the point you were making earlier about the differences with these bowls to perhaps what they're used to, the coloured bowls in particular.
Yeah, coloured bowls in Crown Green are coming to the fore. They're coming to the fore during this last 3 years, mainly because of all the young people that are playing. Certainly in flat green, it's mega business in flat green. There's about 50% are coloured bowls. And this isn't the first time that coloured bowls have been used like this. Of course, they have been used in pairs competitions before, but it's something new for most of the players this week, having to play with bowls that aren't their own.
Well, Cathy tried to fire away the shot bowl, but missed, and it's another one for Jenna, who is now 12-7 up. This was the bowl that did it, squeezing past the lead and bang on target. So Jenna 12-7 up against Cathy Wilson. And Jenna, who has a reputation of being the runner-up in many competitions, not least of which the biggest one of them all. She lost the Women's Waterloo. We'll be hoping to redress that particular balance today.
And I think the way that she's playing with these coloured bowls, I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't make an offer for them at the end of the game. Oh, great ball.
Wonderful bowl from Cathy Wilson. And just when she needed it. 12-7 down, and Jenna beginning to build a little momentum.
Looking to come the other way here, looking to come thumb peg, because the blue bowl is in the line of the finger peg Doesn't want to promote that. No, she's coming the same way. She's still coming finger peg, but she's left it short. I think she's played a bit frightened.
Yes. So 12-8. A reduction at least in the Jenna Gough lead. Wonderful ball from Cathy, wasn't it? Tiniest of targets to aim for, and she got it.
She's going on a piece of the green that she's used before in the earlier rounds. She's going thumb peg, which is straight peg, bias towards the crown, up to the heavier part of the green. I think the feature of this part is a lot of people play short going this way, but I think she's not too bad. Both players caught out short.
More weight. Can Jenna make the readjustment necessary? There's a gap there to be moved into. She hasn't found it. She has two, and she has reduced the deficit by half. And it is 12-10 now to Jenna Gough.
Cathy looking to come now right down the centre of the green, certain to go further than what Jenna's been playing previously. Yeah, she's going to be going close on 40 yards here, which is probably the furthest they've played up to now. She's playing thumb peg right over the centre of the green.
Jenna learnt from the path that Cathy took there.
Well, she's certainly further.
Yeah, she learnt an awful lot. Just flicking and going by.
Gone out. The change in tactics has not quite worked for Cathy because she didn't quite lead well enough. So the way is open for Jenna to get another two here.
Which, if she does, will restore her full advantage. And it looks as though she has done exactly that. And she leads by 14-10. Well, there are always important points in every match, and just wonder if at 14-10, if this might not be a pivotal end, and if Jenna can lead and double up here, she might begin to see the finishing line come a lot closer.
Yeah, she's gone down the edge of the green. Again, it's round peg, and I think Cathy actually in previous games has played down this side, so I don't think it'll present a lot of problems for her. She's just short.
Deliberating quite carefully before dispatching on this occasion. Is it going to come for it? I think it might. It has.
Cathy's wondering what to do here. I think she's going to strike at these.
It's a big, big moment, this, isn't it? She's missed it. And we were talking about this being potentially a pivotal end. Might well prove to be so. 16-10. Jenna Gough leads. This was the one that gave her the 2. Cathy felt there was no other option than to go with weight, and she missed.
Yeah, I think the danger signs are looming now for Cathy. I always think that in a game when a player gets to 16, that's when you need to be aware of the fact that they're getting nearer and nearer to 21. You've really got to take some decisive action at this stage. Giving her a chance, just about 2 feet past.
Cathy just got that?
Yep.
Yep.
Cathy's just stopped on Jenna's ball, and Jenna's ball fell over. So Cathy's lying in at the moment.
But that is now holding the shot. Cathy needs this, you feel. Quite. It is 17 to Jenna Gough against 10 for Cathy Wilson. And suddenly a lead which was 12-10 has opened up to 17-10.
And just watching Jenna there delivering a ball, her concentration levels appear to be very, very high. And concentration, of course, is 90% of the game.
Yeah, once you reach a final, you've overcome all the other obstacles along the way, and you clearly have the ability to be there. And it is down to how you psychologically react to being in a major final. Well, there's daylight to aim for Cathy. Not as tight as Jenna would have liked to have been at this stage, and I think Cathy's in here. She's done well. She's kept it alive. She's back in it. And he'll be mightily relieved to see that as well. Husband Graham. 17-11 down. But it could have been a lot worse had she not found this shot.
Yeah, I know how Graham feels. I used to feel like that when I watched my wife play, and I think it's not so much the winning of the game. You just want them to play well. As long as they can do that, you don't feel too bad. But Cathy's changed it completely now, which is something I felt she should have done a bit earlier. She's certainly going a long way here. Going about 39 yards here, right over at the centre of the green. It's quite a long way up here. Not quite got the lead she would have liked.
You really feel as though she needs to take advantage of having got the jack back off Jenna, don't you? was just in a sort of groove and just steadily picking off the bowls she needed. 21 was looming closer.
Yeah, this is a good tactical ploy by Cathy. She had to lengthen it. She had to make sure that she tried to break up Jenna's length, but she's gone quite wayward with that bowl.
She'll be mightily disappointed, Cathy, I think. Jenna has a great opportunity here. I think she's going to take it. Jenna is up to 18 and 3 away from the title.
Yeah, I think that second bowl of Cathy's there gave Jenna a lot of confidence. If that had been with her other one, it would have put an awful lot of pressure on her. So here she is now, coming back to her previous tactic, playing round peg, and bias towards the ditch, finger peg, only going about 27 yards. This is where she's been leading exceptionally well.
When you're 18-11 up, you're on your favourite length, and you lead within that kind of distance, you begin to sense the title.
Cathy's questioning the length here, Alistair. She's questioning whether it's the minimum length, which is 19 metres. So what they'll do, they'll measure this, and if it's a length, the bowl stays there. If it's less than 19 metres, the jack and bowl is returned. I would have thought it was, looking from here, I would have thought it was just about a length. Yeah, it is a length, so Cathy now has to play.
Is it fair enough to ask, though?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're not sure, and of course it delays your opponent, there's no problem with that. Certainly not an act of gamesmanship. She wasn't sure, so there's no problem, just ask.
So holding 1. Can Jenna hold 2?
Only 1. Now she might fancy having a bang at this. She's looking at it very carefully. It's only 1, so her own bowl isn't in the way. Here she comes.
I don't think she's connected with 1 so far. She hasn't connected with 1 here either. And it is 19-11. Jenna Gough could be within an end of the title. No surprises where she went in this position.
No, she's gone on a 26-yard mark, just a little bit shorter, round peg again, where she's been playing so well, and she delivers her bowls very smoothly. Both girls do really, but what a nice smooth action, which is very, very important because you set the ball out on a true path.
That will give Jenna an awful lot of confidence to see that one go astray.
Yeah, I think Cathy's just lost a bit of heart at the moment. Absolute last chance saloon now.
Well, there's a barrier, but they're not as tight as Jenna would like. So can Cathy prevent her from winning the title in this end?
Short.
It's short. She can't. It's over. And Jenna Gough is the 2008 Greens Park Homes Women's Champion at the Bridlington Masters here at Dukes Park Bowling Club. She has won by 21-11. And in all honesty, in the last few minutes in particular, always looked like it was her title.
58, Jenna Gough from Tilling. Congratulations, Jenna. Jenna's going to have an interview now for TV. As soon as that finishes, she's going to do the presentation.